And, I just hear a lot, like when we talk to different force-free trainers, or, you see different arguments online. And one of the biggest things that I think a lot of balance trainers will try to push is like, well, we could help these dogs. These balance tools, these methods and stuff can help them overcome these issues. And their general argument back to that is something along the lines of, well, if you need to resort to those types of methods in order to get those behaviors under control, those dogs probably just shouldn't be alive, which is why that always has stuck in the back of my mind as, one of the big leaders.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah. So it's all well and good them saying that, but the force free a lot like to push this baby stuff onto people, and you wouldn't do this to your child, you wouldn't put that on your child. So if we want to stick to these same comparisons, why the fuck aren't we just euthanizing every single person serving a prison sentence then?
Sure.
Why aren't we doing that?
Yeah.
The reality of it is they're too emotionally weak to do what needs to be done to create a behavior outcome. When I punish my child, I'm doing it with the best intention, so they understand right from wrong and they grow up to be a moral citizen. And my child is, fortunately, she's in university, she's thriving. Did I like putting her on the naughty step or taking dolls off her when she misbehaved? No, I didn't.
Sure.
I didn't like the day of silent treatment, but the message got across. She understood outcomes. The difference with dogs is they're predominantly associative learners. We can't explain rationale or reason to them.
Yes.
We can only give them learning outcomes. And the sooner people start to realize that and accept it, the happier and more balanced all dogs will be. It really boils me piss. I've been in this industry a long time. There's so many trainers that have been in this industry for a couple of years. They're like, we need to bridge the gap between balanced and force-free. I fucking hate them. Yeah. I can't stand them. I'm done with it. I've tried to win them over. I've got some real good people around me that are force-free that I liaise with. And when I say they're force-free, they just prefer to train in that way. Yes. And they acknowledge where they're limited, but they just do what they like to do. And I completely respect that. They understand learning theory. They understand creating behavior outcomes. They just aren't comfortable with corrections, which is fine. When you start trying to tell people that it's unnecessary and you can do it another way, that's where I've got no time for them people, because it's bollocks. It's absolute bullshit. Yeah. It's nonsense. And it really winds me up because they don't have anything to show for it. Like, let's change the topic. Let's say you're Jay Cutler and you're Ronnie Coleman. You know who them two people are?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm just some skinny dickhead in the UK, and I'm telling you both about weightlifting. I'm telling you both, this is how you're going to get big. This is how you're going to win the Olympia. Yeah. Everyone would go, he's a knobhead, him. Tell him to shut up. What the fuck? But that's what we've got in dog training. We've got a massive amount of these force-free trainers that don't have any results to the name. They don't have any before and afters. Yeah. I don't see any, you go on my Facebook, any of my social media platforms, and I've got tens and tens of people tagging me, real people with real dogs every day. Thank you so much. Look at the difference in my dog. We can enjoy our dog. I don't see it on any of these platforms. The ones with the big mouths that are talking and saying that people like us are abusive and so on. Mm-hmm. They have no clients to their name talking. They have no before and afters. But they think they have this power to speak to people and tell them how to train their dogs. I've never known an industry like it, and it's so frustrating. Yeah.
It's interesting. Obviously, you're laughing at the comparison, obviously, but you could just hear how much passion is behind all of this that you're saying, obviously, right? And not that we're not passionate at all about it here, but this is really going to affect you right now if things don't start to change, obviously. Yeah. So my question is, what sort of things are you currently doing, and do you guys kind of have in the works to push back against this? Is there a shot that it might get reversed? And if it doesn't, what is that going to look like for your company?
Okay, so basically we're kind of making history at the moment. This is a done deal. What happened is the major charities produced a load of bullshit. They're rubbing shoulders with the right people in government, and they basically said to the government, look at this, these devices electrocute dogs, talked a load of shit. Yeah. And the government went, whoa, yeah, surely the nation would be on board with this. Who would want to electrocute dogs? Sure. And they sold them the whole 6,000 volts, which I'm sure you're aware. Voltage doesn't matter with the collar. It's about the ampage. Mm-hmm. And the e-collar makes 0.00 millijoules of energy. It is impossible for it to rupture a cell. Yes. The voltage means nothing. Walking on a carpet, that'll give you 30,000 volts, a static off a carpet. Voltage means nothing. Mm-hmm. But they presented this scare tactics to the government. And the government, not knowing anything about dog training or anything, just said, oh, I wouldn't want to electrocute my dog. Yeah, okay, that's a done deal. Mm-hmm. Weirdly enough, they passed the bill for animal testing on beagles around about the same time. So I kind of get the feeling that it was like, we'll get that through and then we'll give the animal rights activists this. I kind of get the impression it was that, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, so when that happened, it was a done deal. They said February 2024, the e-collar's banned. So we went, right, let's get to work. So Jamie Penrith, myself, we started rallying people together. We didn't ask them to do anything other than write to their MPs and tell them that this isn't what it seems. You know, I mean, members of parliament, politicians. We told them to write to them, tell them this isn't what it seems. You're being lied to. This is the reality of the situation. And the reality of that situation was we created that much of an uproar that the government paused the scheduling to actually confirm that it's been banned. It's been paused, and that's not been done before. I believe maybe in the last 30 years. It's not been done when all it needed for that ban to completely be concrete and go through was a meeting, a nod, and it was through. And we paused it just through rallying people together. And I think now, basically, the government have gone back to the rescues and gone, whoa. You told us that the nation's for this because no one wants to electrocute dogs. But what we're hearing is there's a whirlwind, there's a plethora of actual science out there that says these tools are valuable. They work. And we've got thousands of people telling us that it saved their dogs' lives. So this requires some thought. And now what's happened is a backlash. The Dogs Trust, the Kennel Club and such, they've all started campaigning again now, with their lies, their propaganda, and their scare-tastic saying the government have paused on the ban. We need to be writing to the government, and we need to be doing this, and this. So we're making massive headroom with this now, and I'm quite confident we can come to an agreement. Even if we get an exemption for predation, I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with it being banned for the public unless they're working with the trainer. So, I don't know how you'd police it or how you'd fund it, but if every trainer had a unique trainer number, you had to do a license in the tools. And when people come to work with you, they could reference your unique number and they could get a collar. And then if they were misusing that collar, then that reference number would come back to the trainer.
Yes.
None of that kind of stuff would bother me because I train in an ethical way. Yes. I understand that punishments need to be made, need to happen, but I understand the conditioning process and what needs to be done. So it wouldn't bother me in the slightest that. But, I'm quite hopeful now. I'm quite hopeful. We put a massive speed bump in this. This was a done deal, and it's not so much a done deal now. Yeah. So let's see what happens.
So when you say they put a pause to it, right? So that means that they're waiting to collect further data before they make their decision. Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, it just means that it needs debating. They need to, what they thought was the evidence. Now they've got two piles and they need to now go through it and see what's working. It's ridiculous when you've got the RSPCA, which are corrupt as fuck, saying that it's a massive risk to welfare. E-collars have been used since the late 50s, as you know, maybe even a little bit sooner. There has never been a conviction for misuse or abuse using an e-collar. No, not one.
Yeah.
Dogs have died on just normal collars and lead. Sure. Why aren't we banning them?
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this sort of data, when the RSPCA say these tools are a risk to welfare, well, all we respond with to the government is, show me the risk.
Yeah.
Where is the risk? They can't just say that. They have to quantify it. Where is the risk? Because they've got no data. The RSPCA dealt with, I think they had like over 100,000 calls of abuse or something last year. They dealt with about 63,000 odd cases of abuse. Don't quote me. The numbers will be around that, but not exact.
Sure.
Not one of them was related to an e-collar. Not one. Yeah. And not one conviction came of it. Yet they want to pump in the media and say there's an immediate risk to welfare. Well, I'll put it to you, me old mate. There's fucking not. There is no risk to welfare.
Yeah.
There's never been a risk to welfare.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Like, so like if you look at like e-collars and like abuse linked to e-collars, right? Like everything that they say is abuse using them is generally going to be extremely subjective, right? But anybody that's going to invest a fairly large chunk of money into an e-collar or into a trainer to use an e-collar is doing so because they care about their animal 10x more than your average person that would actually
100%.
be abusing dogs. So like
and animals in general.
Yes, exactly, right? So like that financial kind of point that they're trying to get across, or the financial investment that they're making, the time commitment they're making to like getting this tool and trying it with their dog and stuff is always going to be done in the best intentions. And though, yeah, like we could still debate if it's being misused or not, nobody is going to be just willingly and unintentionally abusing their dogs through it, you know?
Yeah.
This is a point that I make, you know, the likes of the major charities, the Kennel Club, the RSPCA, they want to push out the nonsense that these are cruel, barbaric, and abusive tools. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, well, let's break that down to what you're really saying. What you're saying is thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world are animal abusers. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that realistic?
Yes.
In saying that? Are people going out and buying dogs because they're animal abusers? No, they're not. They have the best intentions for them dogs. They love them dogs more than most of the people in their lives.
Yep.
They're taking all the necessary precautions to ensure that their dogs are safe, other animals are safe, and people are safe as well.